My beloved child, listen closely, because this message is not random and not meant for everyone. The person who keeps appearing in your thoughts, the one who quietly enters your mind during silence, prayer, or late nights, is not there by accident. Their presence in your head is proof of a deep soul connection that never truly broke. Archangel Michael says this bond was formed with purpose, not confusion. Even when days pass without contact, even when pride or silence stands between you, their heart still turns toward you. You feel them because they feel you first, and this unseen pull is stronger than words. Now hear this carefully, because this is where the truth begins to unfold. The distance between you was not created by lack of love, nor by loss of interest. Archangel Michael says the separation happened because both of you were standing at the edge of transformation. One of you was afraid of becoming who you were meant to be, and the other was protecting their heart from pain they could not yet explain. This pause, this gap, was divinely allowed so growth could happen without destruction. What shocked you was never the silence, but the reason behind it. Pay attention to this moment, because something hidden is being revealed. Archangel Michael says the person in your head stepped back because they saw your future, and it intimidated them. They saw your strength rising, your value increasing, your path expanding, and they feared they might lose you if they stayed the same. Instead of rising with you, they chose distance to work on themselves in silence. This was not rejection, it was preparation. Love does not always stay close, sometimes it steps away to become worthy. Do not misunderstand the quiet, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says this connection was protected, not paused forever. The thoughts you share without speaking, the sudden emotions, the dreams that feel too real, all of this is evidence that the bond remains alive. The universe did not allow chaos, interference, or false people to break this tie. Distance was used as a shield, not a weapon. And the moment alignment returns, communication will feel natural again, without force. Finally, receive this truth with calm and clarity. Archangel Michael says you were never forgotten, replaced, or ignored. You were being prepared for a version of love that is stable, honest, and fearless. The shock is not that they love you, but that they loved you enough to step back until they could stand beside you properly. Trust this timing, protect your peace, and stay grounded, because when reconnection happens, it will not bring confusion, it will bring certainty. My beloved child, allow your heart to stay open as this message deepens, because what comes next explains the silence you could never understand. Archangel Michael says the person in your head has been fighting an inner battle that you were never meant to see. They carried guilt, self-doubt, and unresolved wounds, and instead of bringing that chaos into your life, they chose distance. This choice was painful for them too, but it was made out of love, not fear. The connection stayed alive because the intention was always pure. Listen carefully now, because this revelation changes everything. Archangel Michael says the distance was also a test of trust, patience, and emotional maturity. Both of you needed to learn how to stand strong without leaning on each other emotionally every moment. This space was designed to remove dependency and replace it with balance. The universe wanted to see if your bond could survive without constant reassurance. And the fact that you still think of each other proves the answer. There is something else you must know, something rarely spoken. Archangel Michael says external voices and distractions tried to interfere with this connection, but they failed. Advice from others, misunderstandings, and assumptions created noise, not truth. The person in your head chose silence over arguments, distance over damage. They believed that time would explain what words could not. This was wisdom, not avoidance. Stay present with this message, because alignment is approaching. Archangel Michael says both souls are now reaching a point of emotional clarity. Lessons have been learned, strength has been built, and fear is losing its control. When reconnection begins, it will not feel rushed or dramatic. It will feel calm, steady, and unmistakably right. The shock will be how simple it all becomes after so much confusion. Receive this final assurance for now, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says nothing real was ever lost between you. Love that is meant to return always finds its way back, stronger and clearer than before. Keep your energy clean, your heart protected, and your intentions honest. What was separated for growth will reunite with purpose, and when it does, you will understand why every moment of distance was necessary. My beloved child, take a steady breath and stay with this message, because it is unfolding layer by layer for a reason. Archangel Michael says the thoughts that keep returning are signals, not memories. They are reminders that a promise was made at a soul level, long before timing created distance. Aha, this is why even when you try to move forward, something gently pulls you back to reflection, not pain. That pull exists because unfinished understanding still connects you, and it is meant to bring clarity, not confusion. Now hear the truth that may surprise you the most. Archangel Michael says the person in your head never stopped watching your journey from afar. They noticed your struggles, your growth, your quiet strength, even when you felt unseen. Distance allowed them to admire you without interfering, to respect your process without controlling it. Aha, what felt like absence was actually careful observation, a form of love that chose patience over possession. Pay attention to this shift, because it explains the emotional tension you feel. Archangel Michael says both of you were learning the difference between attachment and alignment. Attachment creates fear of loss, but alignment creates trust in timing. The distance existed to break unhealthy patterns and rebuild the connection on honesty and self-worth. Aha, this is why the bond did not fade, it matured silently. Do not rush your thoughts or your emotions now. Archangel Michael says the next phase depends on inner readiness, not external action. When both hearts are calm instead of restless, when expectations are replaced by understanding, the path clears naturally. Aha, reconnection is not forced, it arrives gently when resistance ends. This is divine order working quietly in your favor. Hold this message close, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says love that survives distance is never ordinary. It carries wisdom, respect, and purpose. What shocked you was not the separation, but the depth of intention behind it. Trust what is unfolding, stay grounded in peace, and remember this: when love is real, even silence speaks in protection, not abandonment. My beloved child, remain still with this message, because its meaning is settling into your spirit now. Archangel Michael says the reason this person lives in your head is because your energies were once in sync, and echoes of that harmony still exist. Aha, this is why even unrelated moments suddenly remind you of them. It is not longing, it is resonance. When two souls recognize each other, distance cannot erase awareness, it can only quiet it for a while. Now understand this deeper layer with clarity. Archangel Michael says the distance was also an act of self-respect, on both sides. One of you needed to learn boundaries, and the other needed to learn patience. Without this pause, love would have turned into confusion. Aha, the shock is realizing that separation was the only way to protect something real from becoming fragile. What was delayed was not love, but readiness. Notice what has changed within you since the distance began. Archangel Michael says you are stronger, calmer, and more aware of your worth now. This growth did not happen by accident. The person in your head sensed this evolution and chose not to interrupt it. Aha, sometimes love steps back so destiny can step forward. This silence was not empty, it was intentional space for growth. Stay present, because alignment works quietly. Archangel Michael says when the time is right, communication will feel effortless, without chasing or confusion. There will be no need for explanations, because understanding will already exist. Aha, you will recognize the moment not by excitement, but by peace. What returns with calm is always meant to stay. Receive this closing truth for now, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says love guided by divine timing never arrives early or late. The distance you questioned was shaping a stronger foundation beneath the surface. Trust what is unfolding, honor your journey, and remain open without force. When the connection reappears in your life, it will no longer live only in your head, it will stand clearly in reality. My beloved child, stay with this energy a little longer, because Archangel Michael says the final understanding is settling into place. The reason this connection never felt finished is because it was never meant to end in confusion. Aha, the thoughts that return are gentle signals, reminding you that truth was postponed, not denied. What belongs to the soul does not disappear with time, it waits with patience until awareness is ready to receive it. Now receive this insight with calm strength. Archangel Michael says the distance existed to remove illusion and reveal intention. When emotions were heavy and timing was misaligned, closeness would have created misunderstanding. Aha, separation was used to strip away ego, fear, and expectation, leaving only what is real. What remains after distance is always authentic, and that is why this connection endured silently. Notice how your perspective has shifted since then. Archangel Michael says you no longer seek validation the way you once did. You understand your worth without needing constant reassurance. Aha, this inner stability is exactly what was missing before. The person in your head sensed this change, and it is why the energetic pull feels calmer now, not restless. Love is learning to stand on equal ground. Pay attention to the subtle signs around you. Archangel Michael says synchronicities increase when alignment is near. Shared thoughts, repeated symbols, unexpected memories appearing without pain, these are confirmations, not coincidences. Aha, the universe speaks softly before it acts clearly. What is meant to reconnect does so gently, without chaos or urgency. Hold this final truth close, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says the shock was never about distance, it was about discovery. You were never waiting for someone to return, you were becoming someone ready. Trust this process fully, remain grounded in peace, and allow what is aligned to approach naturally. What reunites after growth carries clarity, respect, and a purpose strong enough to last. My beloved child, let your heart stay calm as this message reaches its deepest point. Archangel Michael says the reason this person remains in your thoughts is because a truth was never spoken at the right time. Words were held back, not feelings. Silence became the language of protection when emotions felt too powerful to express correctly. What you sensed as distance was actually restraint, a careful pause to prevent something sacred from being mishandled. Now receive this carefully, because this is the part that truly shocks. Archangel Michael says the person in your head believed they might become a distraction instead of a blessing if they stayed close. They stepped away not because they doubted love, but because they respected your path. Real love sometimes chooses absence so growth can happen without influence or pressure. This choice required strength, not indifference. Notice how your intuition has sharpened through this experience. Archangel Michael says the distance awakened awareness within you. You learned discernment, patience, and emotional clarity. This separation trained your spirit to recognize truth without noise. That is why now, when you think of them, it feels steady instead of painful. Healing has already taken place on both sides. Remain open but grounded as alignment continues. Archangel Michael says reconnection energy is subtle, not dramatic. There will be no confusion, no mixed signals, no emotional chaos. What returns with peace is always guided. The universe does not rush what is meant to last, it prepares it quietly and delivers it gently. Hold this final reassurance, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says love that survives distance is refined by wisdom. You were never meant to chase or question your worth. The space between you was shaping a stronger foundation than closeness ever could at that time. Trust the timing, honor your growth, and remember this truth: what is divinely aligned never needs force, it arrives with certainty and calm. My beloved child, remain steady as this message continues to unfold, because Archangel Michael says understanding often arrives in waves, not all at once. The reason this person still occupies your mind is because your story with them paused mid-sentence. Nothing unresolved ever truly rests. Your soul keeps revisiting the connection not to reopen wounds, but to prepare you for closure through truth, whether that truth comes through reunion or deep inner clarity. Now let this revelation settle gently. Archangel Michael says the distance also revealed who you are without anyone leaning on you or defining you. In that space, you discovered your resilience, your patience, and your quiet power. Love was never meant to be the source of your strength, only the companion to it. The separation allowed you to stand fully in your own identity before sharing space with another again. Observe how your emotions respond now. Archangel Michael says you no longer feel desperation, only curiosity and calm awareness. This shift is crucial. When longing transforms into peace, alignment is near. The person in your head senses this change too, which is why the energetic connection feels lighter, clearer, and more respectful than before. Stay attentive to your inner voice. Archangel Michael says intuition grows strongest when the heart is no longer afraid of outcomes. You are no longer waiting, chasing, or proving anything. Aha, this neutrality is power. It allows what is meant for you to approach freely, without resistance or pressure. Love that arrives now will recognize your worth immediately. Receive this assurance, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says the distance you questioned refined your spirit and clarified your desires. Nothing was wasted, and nothing was taken from you. What remains is truth, maturity, and readiness. Trust this stage of your journey, because whether paths merge again or lessons complete, you are stepping forward whole, grounded, and protected by divine timing. My beloved child, stay present as this message gently completes another circle of understanding. Archangel Michael says the reason your mind still returns to this person is because the connection shifted form, not meaning. Aha, some bonds move from closeness to awareness so they can teach without overwhelming. Your thoughts are not pulling you backward, they are guiding you forward with wisdom gained through experience. Now absorb this truth with clarity. Archangel Michael says the distance removed illusions and revealed intentions. When emotions were loud, truth was quiet. Aha, only in silence could both hearts hear what truly mattered. This space was necessary so love could be separated from fear, expectation, and uncertainty. What survived was not attachment, but respect and understanding. Notice how your reactions have softened. Archangel Michael says you no longer react with pain, jealousy, or urgency. You observe, reflect, and release. Aha, this emotional maturity is the sign that you have outgrown the old version of the connection. Growth was the real purpose all along, and now you carry it with grace. Remain open without anticipation. Archangel Michael says the future does not need to be chased to arrive. When timing aligns, events move naturally. Aha, what is guided does not require effort, explanation, or struggle. It flows into place with ease and certainty, because both souls are finally ready. Hold this final layer of reassurance, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says you were never meant to lose yourself waiting or wondering. The distance strengthened your foundation and clarified your heart. Trust what has been learned, honor your peace, and walk forward without fear. What is meant to stay will meet you where you stand, whole, calm, and aligned. My beloved child, stay anchored in calm as this message carries one more layer of truth meant just for you. Archangel Michael says the reason this connection stayed alive in your mind is because it was never based on words alone. Aha, it was built on recognition. Even without contact, recognition does not fade. It simply waits until both hearts are able to honor it without confusion or fear. Now receive this gently but clearly. Archangel Michael says the distance also protected you from repeating an old cycle. At that time, emotions were strong but understanding was incomplete. Aha, closeness would have repeated patterns that needed to be broken. Separation was the divine interruption that saved both of you from misunderstanding something sacred. What felt like loss was actually preservation. Notice how peace has slowly replaced questioning. Archangel Michael says this is proof that healing has already occurred. You no longer ask, "Why did this happen?" with pain, but with awareness. Aha, when pain turns into insight, the lesson is complete. The person in your head now appears as a reminder of growth, not a source of ache. Remain steady in this awareness. Archangel Michael says if reconnection is meant to happen, it will come with honesty, emotional safety, and mutual readiness. There will be no guessing, no mixed signals, no fear of losing yourself. Aha, divine alignment never feels chaotic. It feels grounded, respectful, and clear. Hold this closing truth close, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says the shock was not distance, it was destiny working silently. You were guided away only to be guided inward. Trust the wisdom you gained, protect your peace, and move forward without doubt. What belongs to you at soul level will never miss you, it will meet you when you are fully ready to receive it. My beloved child, remain calm and receptive, because Archangel Michael says this understanding is now reaching completion. The reason this person still lives gently in your awareness is because the connection served as a mirror. Aha, through them, you learned who you are when love is present and who you become when love steps back. This awareness was necessary for your evolution, not your suffering. What mirrors us never leaves without leaving wisdom behind. Now accept this deeper truth. Archangel Michael says the distance removed emotional noise so truth could surface without distortion. When hearts are overwhelmed, clarity hides. Aha, silence stripped the connection down to its essence. What remained was respect, care, and unspoken understanding. Anything that could not survive distance was never meant to define you. Observe how grounded you feel now compared to before. Archangel Michael says you no longer lose balance when thinking about them. You stand firm in yourself. Aha, this stability is the sign that the lesson has integrated fully into your spirit. You are no longer reacting from longing, but responding from strength. Stay open, but unattached. Archangel Michael says outcomes do not define alignment, peace does. Whether paths cross again or remain separate, you are protected. Aha, divine timing never takes without giving something greater in return. What you gained was clarity, self-worth, and emotional maturity. Hold this final assurance, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says you were never behind, abandoned, or forgotten. Every pause, every silence, every unanswered question was shaping you into someone ready for truth without fear. Trust your journey fully. What is meant for you will recognize you instantly, and when it arrives, it will not confuse your mind, it will calm your soul. My beloved child, stay gently aware, because Archangel Michael says this message is sealing what has already been understood within you. The reason this person still appears in your thoughts is because the connection fulfilled its purpose without needing constant presence. Aha, some bonds are not meant to stay forever in form, but forever in impact. They awaken something within you, then step back once that awakening is complete. Now let this truth settle with clarity. Archangel Michael says the distance helped you separate emotion from illusion. Before, love felt intense but uncertain. Aha, uncertainty was never meant to be your foundation. The pause allowed truth to rise above fantasy, showing you what genuine connection feels like when it is calm, respectful, and free of fear. This realization was worth the wait. Notice how your heart now responds with peace instead of restlessness. Archangel Michael says this calm is not emptiness, it is completion. Aha, when the soul finishes a lesson, it no longer aches, it understands. The person in your head no longer represents longing, but confirmation that you are capable of deep, meaningful connection without losing yourself. Remain grounded in this awareness. Archangel Michael says what comes next in your life will not require guessing or emotional struggle. Love that aligns with your growth will meet you where you are, not where you used to be. Aha, you will recognize it instantly, because it will feel safe, clear, and mutual. Hold this final layer of truth close, my beloved child. Archangel Michael says distance did not weaken you, it refined you. You are no longer waiting for answers, because you have become the answer. Trust your path, honor your peace, and move forward with quiet confidence. What is meant for you will arrive without shock, but with certainty that feels like home.